Lewis, I understand you're a neurosurgeon, but from this venue, more importantly, you've produced a product called Doctations.
Yes.
So I'm going to have a couple of questions for you. First, please tell us about Doctations, and then tell us what you found to be the most interesting thing about HIMSS in the last couple of days.
Well, we set out about 8 years ago to develop a system that would help physicians aggregate into larger practices. And we thought by doing this, we could help defragment and disintermediate healthcare over time.
I love that word, disintermediate.
Well, I think it's a key word today, because every step you take, there are 5 people between you and treating a patient. And
are you still practicing?
I am.
Good for you.
I am.
I quit 2 years ago, but
it's hard to do both, but it's important, because you lose track of the problems that are faced every day by physicians treating patients.
True.
And the EMR is like the least of our issues. And the EMR is really a pen. It's a means of documenting. And we sat down and we began to look at the problem in detail, and we realized that what was required was basically a myspace.com for doctors.
Okay.
And we realized that in order to do that, we needed to put together a lot of funding and a lot of really top-notch engineers.
And so as a neurosurgeon, that should be rather easy.
Well, the funding part I started, but boy, it quickly outstripped me. And it required that I get people to, friends, family, people who began to believe in the mission of basically creating an online system that would allow physicians to aggregate into a virtual IPA nationwide, and then to create their own local partnerships.
So how many people are using Doctations?
We have about 40 physicians who are now members.
Nice. And
we're adding about 60 physicians over the next 2 months, and that's phase 2. And then we're going general release after that. So we should have a total of about 200 physicians by July, August of this year. And once we go phase 2, once we're finished with phase 2, we'll be open to general use of the platform by any physician who wants to log in, register, and begin using. So the technology has been developed with a great deal of attention to all of the factors involved in setting up a software system required for it to be properly used by any practice. And there are so many variables involved that we found that there are actually standards and master lists we could create so that we can get a practice up and running literally in 24 to 48 hours.
It's very, very interesting. Tell me about HIMSS, and if you've walked the floor or listened to some of the lectures, what was the singular most intriguing thing you've learned in the last couple of days?
Well, I think that there's a lot of excitement at HIMSS about the
Stimulus Act.
About the funding that's coming down the pike, and there's also a substantial amount of trepidation. I mean, there are people who really don't fully understand what the Stimulus Act is going to require. And
meaningful use, we all know what that means.
Yeah, well, of course.
Not.
Of course. And the fact is that when you develop a software as a service, a MySpace.com type application that can be updated monthly to the user's needs and to fit needs coming down from government, federal, and state, you have an advantage. You're not paying for management fees. You're not paying for maintenance fees on a yearly basis and then upgrade fees on top. And the goal, again, here is to build a system that allows physicians to interact with each other online and create virtual networks, inviting each other to form virtual groups together, and then taking those groups and actually forming companies. And all the while, essentially, bringing their patients along the way and forming what we call the doc patient network. So we have a network that's forming, essentially a healthcare network within the healthcare network, a healthcare system within the healthcare system that is focused on generating, improving access to care and quality of care by using technology. You have to use the technology to be a member of this group.
Is it currently a nationwide entity, or is it starting in?
It's in 4 different states.
Good.
And we expect that by the end of the year it'll be in 7 different states. And we expect the preponderance will be in the New York tri-state area, but we have a growing number in Florida and California.
Very
so
good.
I don't know where it's going to grow faster. But the best part of this is that we're beginning to bring in physicians and patients who have ideas on how internet healthcare should evolve. And so those ideas are coming in. We're beginning to implement them. And
so you've got, at this point in time, 40 additional programmers, in a sense, and growing quickly.
Every single one of them has ideas on what should be in the system.
Great.
And all they do is press a button, send that to us, and we basically include that after review. And we send that, we get more information from them. We actually include them in upcoming update. The bottom line is that this is a system that's designed to function as a service. So that, in fact, it's priced as a service. It's about the cost of a cable television subscription. That's all. And they run it. The software has to become invisible. The software isn't our lives. As physicians, what we really need is something that helps us build our referral base, that helps us build a relationship with patients, but most importantly, it's not money. It helps us build the quality of care we can deliver and a better relationship with our patients.
How long have you been doing? Because it's quite obvious you've been extraordinarily excited about this.
I've been doing medicine now for 20-something years.
No, but so is Doctations.
And I've been working on this for almost 10 years, 9 years. It began as frustration with the inability and all of the miscellaneous factors that get involved in between the healthcare process, and all the issues of trying to just obtain the data we need just to treat patients appropriately.
It's been difficult. I hope it fixes. Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.